Hey, my name is Colin Tomlin, and I really want to welcome you to TLC Online Training, and specifically to our 10-part series that we're doing, Decisions Without Discipline is Disaster. Now, I really want to thank all the people who have responded or fed back in terms of how this program is helping them, how parts 1 and parts 2 have really helped in setting the scene. And you know, what did we talk about in parts 1 and 2? Well, in part 1 we set the scene where we talked about your desires, your decisions and your determination. And we said that your desires are effectively the foundation of discipline. Without working out exactly what you really want to do, then you don't have the foundation for discipline. And we talked about how that fed into your decision-making process and how determination helped to make that happen. So that was part 1. Then in part 2 we talked about identity, intent and impact, about working out exactly who you are and how knowing who you are makes all the difference, because knowing who you are determines your intent and in effect delivers your impact. So in part 3 we're going to talk about another biggie. We're going to talk about self-discipline, we're going to talk about systems, and we're going to talk about support. Now, to illustrate this, I'm going to refer to a story that we've told in chapter 11 of 26 Big Ideas, and it's called Killing Distractions, and it's about an ancient warrior king. You'll find the story summarized on page 95, I believe. But if you haven't got 26 Big Ideas, you know, we're getting such good feedback about the book, about how much it's motivating people, how much it's encouraging people and inspiring people to just, you know, seize their dreams and do all the things that they've ever wanted to do. So if you haven't got your book, www.26bigideas.com, and I will personally autograph a copy and send it to you. Okay, so thank you very much for all the people who have bought and who fed back. Now let's talk about this ancient warrior king. The ancient warrior king was an absolute hero. Everything he did, you know, he was loved by people, and he had some problems with the previous king because, you know, even before he became king, the people were just adoring him and loving everything that he did. And he was not just a very well-known warrior, but he was a good king with the people. He always looked after the people. And then one fateful day, when he should be out on the battlefield, making a big difference and winning another war, you know, winning wars had now become something that was standard for him. And I guess at this stage, he was so confident in his generals, he was so confident in his troops, that he decided, you know, on this day, on this season of war, let me stay at home and just chill out for a bit. And while he was chilling out, he looked across his balcony and he saw this woman bathing, and you know, he looked at the woman and thought, I'll have her, I really, really want her. And for a minute he thought, maybe I should be on the battlefield, maybe I should go and see what the guys are doing. But you know, such was his desire for this woman that all thoughts of, you know, conquest on the battlefield went out his head. And in fact, his mind on that day was on an entirely different conquest. So he summoned her, he got her to his palace. You know, in those days nobody refused the king, and she came to him, he slept with her, and lo and behold, you know, she fell pregnant, and you know, all hell broke loose at that point. He tried to get the woman's husband back from the battlefield. In fact, he was one of the officers in his army, and he tried to get him back to sleep with his wife. So that, and I think that's a really, really good story about self-discipline. The key to this story is he should have been at war, and discipline is about doing what we should be doing, whether we feel like it or not, whether it's convenient or not, or whether we want to do it. And because he wasn't at war doing what he should be doing, what kings should be doing at that time, then he got in a position where he really shouldn't be. And that's the key to self-discipline. You always have to do what you should be doing, whether you feel like it or not. And I guess the other thing is, he probably didn't have the right structure or systems in his life. Now, the benefit of a system is, a system helps you to create a habit. And what a habit does is, a habit just, basically, if you have a habit of doing something, then that thing begins to come naturally. You don't have to think about it. It just happens. Most of us have a habit of getting out of bed and heading to the kitchen, via the shower, of course, and then having something to eat. It's a habit. You don't have to think very much about doing it. It just happens naturally. So watch your systems, watch your habits in your life. What do you do every day? What are some of those things that are now consistent in your life, good and bad? Watch your systems, watch your habits. And I guess the last thing is, he didn't have the right support system. Here you had the king, lauded by everybody. Who was going to tell the king that he couldn't have this beautiful lady? I mean, it's the king. But the point is, if he had the right support system in line with what he should be doing, then he would have never been there in the first place. And so we've got to make sure that we've got the right support system around us. I mean, for me, one of the absolute key persons to my support system is my wife Judith. She is absolutely brilliant in ensuring that I'm doing what I should be doing. And she doesn't do it in an overbearing way. She does it in such a way that says, hey Colin, this is what you said you'd be doing, and as a result of that, this is what you really should be doing in line with that now. And I've got some other friends around, some really trusted people who, I guess they are my counselors, they are my advisors, the people who help to ensure that what I say I'm going to do, what I say I desire, I'm walking in line with that. All of my actions are lining up with that desire. I'd like to encourage you to get some self-discipline in your life, get some systems or habits in your life, and also get a support network in your life. That makes all the difference. And even though the warrior king became a hero, I wonder what more could he have done had he had self-discipline, had he had the right systems in his life, and had he had the right support network. What about you? What can you do with the right self-discipline, with the right support network, and with the right systems? So there you have it. Part 3 of decisions without discipline is simply disaster.